Hello and welcome to the Sands of Time review channel. It is your host Sammy Thunder here today. Today I'm here with a little bit of a unique video. I'm doing a state of the collection video for the year 2022. A little bit of a retrospective of the 2022 year, any regrets, anything to look forward to in the 2023 year, and just a little bit of discussion on watch collection philosophies. So let's get right into it. I'm going to try and do this video in a chronological order of acquisition. So here we go. The first watch I have here is this Seiko Turtle Save the Ocean. It is the very first mechanical automatic watch I purchased, and it was a Seiko Turtle. It has been with me the longest. I've probably had this for 3 years and counting. It's pretty much been with me through all my struggles, endeavors, things like exams, things like job interviews. I've always reached out for this one. I think of it like a lucky charm, but I think of it as a serious tool watch mainly. And right now I have it on this Crafter blue rubber strap, which gives a little bit of a vibe of a Patek Philippe Nautilus. So I do enjoy wearing this every now and then. It's a sentimental piece, really. The second watch that I purchased was this Full Metal GShock. It is a birthday watch of mine again. I purchased this on my birthday. Forgot the year, but I really just like the aesthetics of this watch. It is a very cool watch. It's meant to be the 35th anniversary edition of the DW5600, which is a resin carbon-based body watch with that carbon core structure. But here we've got this full metal version, 35th anniversary, and I really appreciate the case complexity that they've gone in terms of the machining process for this watch. I'm very satisfied with the level of finishing that you get with the for the price. It's a very robust watch, and it acts as a beta watch for me. Even though in Australia, at least in Victoria itself, it doesn't really sync up to any radio towers, I still like the watch, the Bluetooth functionality. Every now and then I just sync it up to get an accurate reading of the time. But honestly, it is a beta watch. It's a great everyday wear. And it is my apocalypse watch, and I'm very glad I actually purchased this one. The next watch I got in the collection actually is a gift. It is this Tissot Lockley. Tissot was a very prestigious brand. It's been around since 1853, as it says on the dial. And I was gifted this watch as a graduation gift, but more so as a gift, it means a lot to me because during my early days of collecting, I'd purchase a lot of dressy watches like the Seiko Presage, etc. And I'd always end up selling them because I'd think they're a bit too classy for me, or too dressy for my tastes. And I was actually gifted this watch, so it is a dress watch that I'll never ever sell, as it is a dear gift. It's a great watch. It has a Powermatic 80. It's the Tissot Lockley. Very great entry-level piece, actually. Reliable, has a very nice engraving on the back. It's a watch that I'm proud to actually have owned. So, features this faux guilloche dial. It has this raised ring for the numerals, the Roman numerals. The level of finishing on the handset is exquisite, as it's very high polish, and in a lot of cases appears black, but you do notice it's stainless steel. It's a nice quintessential dress watch, an affordable dress watch, and I'm very happy. Has the date as well. The next watch again is a gift. It is the Swatch Big Bold Jelly. This watch is a gift as well from the same person. So as a graduation gift, I think it's a very delightful watch, and it kind of reminds me that sometimes you don't need to take the hobby any seriously, because it's meant to be a fun hobby. You're meant to have some enjoyment, not to always be serious about your collection, the collection journey, etc. So having a look at this watch kind of just reminds me that, you know, it really is just about the fun and the enjoyment you get. And that really is the measurable quantity for myself. The next watch in the collection that I added was a Doxa Sb300T Diving Star. So this, again, this is actually a birthday watch like the GShock. It's a yellow dial watch, the Diving Star yellow. I went with the yellow simply because I noticed that yellow is a very distinct color. It's very noticeable. It's very eye-catchy. It's on, you know, emergency equipment signs, etc. But mainly because I saw Gordon Ramsay wear a yellow Breitling Avenger, and what I realized was he had a the Breitling Avenger, and it was very noticeable. And I didn't know much about watches, but I would always think, oh wow, I actually really like this watch. Maybe one day I can get it. And I searched for it and realized, okay, it's a Breitling Avenger. So the longer I was in the hobby, I learned about Doxa, a very prestigious dive watch brand with a lot of heritage, and I decided I had to go with Diving Star Yellow. It's such a cool watch. It's 1200 meters or 120 bar of resistance, water resistance. It's so distinct, such a well-designed piece, you know, for a larger wrist. You know, the orange fish logo. I like this simple utilitarian clasp with this extension. You know, same system is used on some Citizen watches. I'm kind of shocked that not many brands actually employ such a simple diver extension, or just, you know, just to get a little bit of fitment during the summer period when your wrists swell up a bit. So that's the Doxa Sb300T. The next watch I purchased was a step above in my price point, a step above a bit of the comfort zone, and it is this Grand Seiko SBGM 221. I mean, this watch here is exquisite. Had the longest, let's say, honeymoon with the watch. It really is beautiful, the Grand Seiko, and I know this video here, nor any video, will do it justice. It's such a timeless design from the Grand Seiko brand. You know, it's got the date, GMT in a ring. It's beautiful. It's got the artisanal craftsmanship, the hand craftsmanship from the, you know, from the Japanese at Grand Seiko Studio. It's, you know, multifaceted indices, all finished by hand to an exquisite degree of precision and quality. You know, it's unrivaled at the price point. You know, you've got the Zaratsu polishing, you know, the distinct mirror-like finishing on the case and the handset. Very difficult to photograph. It is one of my favorite watches. This is, in my opinion, this is one of my grail watches. It is the SBGM 221. Such a timeless classic from the brand. I highly recommend anyone that wants something a little bit more dressy but works as everyday wear. I think this watch here is a great candidate for that. I'm very, very much appreciative of owning this piece. And, you know, at one point I was lusting after a spring drive movement watch, and I ended up selling or trading this watch for the SBGA375 spring drive, and I heavily regretted it, because this kind of design, the thickness and, you know, the pronounced level of the indices, the handset, I really, really missed it, and I had to pick it up again. So, stupid decision on my part, but, you know, there's a lot to learn about. The next watch I purchased was this Stover Marine Original. Stover is a brand that I really appreciate. You know, being one of the main 5 watch manufacturers for the German Luftwaffe, for the pilot watches in World War II, or for World War II. So you had Stover, IWC, Wempe, Lange, and Laco. Stover was one of them, and this is a classic deck watch with very traditional watchmaking techniques. You know, very simple and very highly legible watch. No date, small seconds, Arabic numerals, thermally blued leafed handsets, capped handset as well, manual wind, railroad tracks, a German-made deck watch, and features this very beautiful Unitas 6497 movement of watch. That's very unique. It has a screwed balance wheel. Underneath that you have the perlage finishing. You got the swan neck regulator. You've got this the sunburst barrel, the Côte de Genève on the main plates, and the thermally blued screws. And I'm very happy. I'm very lucky that I got this watch, really, because I thought it was too expensive to just purchase straight from the Stover website and then pay for import tax and duties, but I managed to snag one on eBay, and I'm very glad I did. The next watch I purchased in this 2022 year was this Seiko Captain Willard. So this actually is a special edition of the Captain Willard. It is a I believe it's the SBGM235, please correct me on this one, but it features this birchy tree-like dial. It's a very vintage-like dial, very military. It is almost like a field watch, but it's a dive watch, but it features the unique lug design of the Captain Willard. Has this nice vintage cream loom on it. Looks much better in person, and this Seiko strap is very well crafted, hand woven, I believe, and very supple and durable. I've had this watch for 6 months. The GShock coating on the stainless steel really holds up. I've taken this watch to camps, to bushland adventures. I've knocked it around, and it's very weird that I actually don't even have hairline scratches on this watch. And if I compare this to my Seiko Turtle, you can tell there's a huge difference. Obviously the Turtle's much older, but you know, for the condition I put this watch through, it's held up very well. I highly recommend a Willard in anyone's collection, especially with that short lug to lug. It really is a great piece. The last watch of 2022 is a special watch, and it's another Grand Seiko. It is the SBGJ235. It is a boutique only model, and it features the Mount Iwate dial paired with the Heritage 44GS case. The 44GS case, I initially had a love-hate relationship. You know, I think it scratches up a little bit, but what I ended up realizing is you don't notice any of the scratches in most of the lighting conditions, and it really doesn't matter. A watch is meant to be worn, but what I love about this watch is that blue Mount Iwate dial. It's meant to evoke the ridges of Mount Iwate, and this special edition is meant to be a moonlit, meant to evoke the moonlight over the mountain. So regardless of the story, which I don't really care for, I really care about the watchmaking technique that has gone into this watch, and I really enjoy this dial. It is very dynamic. In a lot of cases, in low light situation, it appears as a dark navy blue, and then a little bit of light pops in and you can start seeing these ridges. Has a purpley hue at times. It's very hard to explain. So it's a very nice watch, and it is the last watch of 2022. I really appreciate the case design of this watch. It is quite a nice watch. Now, off to different topics now. I think one thing I would like to discuss is watch regrets. Obviously, you know that I repurchased the SBGM221. Very stupid decision of me to let it go. So one lesson learned is don't be greedy. It's always best to wait for the funds to purchase the watch. And I know that there is a cyclical kind of behavior within me sometimes is when I go out and I start going through trading watches, and I'm trading for watches for an experience, but I'm not trading for watches I truly desire. So I've earned a plethora of watches in this past year, and I've kind of resulted into these ones here. So all in all, I can say just try and get what you like. I did do it for the experience. I did learn from it, which is good. I'd say the watches I'm looking most forward to, at least in the 2023 year, sorry, is I want to purchase Longines. I feel very ashamed to have not purchased the Longines in my lifetime. I really like the Longines Legend Diver. I really like the Heritage Big Eye chronograph, and I really like the Zulu Time and the Spirit line in general. I do want to add a Flieger back into the collection, or a Pilot watch, and I think getting one from Longines is great. The level of finishing on that Spirit line is absolutely exquisite, and I'd say the case finishing is rivaling brands of IWC, if not better. So I'm very, I have very high regards for this brand. End of day, I don't really have any other outlook into the future in terms of grail pieces. I'll take it slowly, I'll take it easy. If a watch I like pops up, if it's on a really good discount or price, I definitely won't hesitate to pick one up. And I think that could be a regret, is not picking up a watch that you really like at the right price, the right condition, but for some reason you're hesitating. I think that's something that I probably should work on as well. So that's kind of a little bit of a retrospective of the 2022 year, and something I like about 2023. In terms of collection philosophies, I believe that it's important for people to have a backbone in the collection. Have a set of watches, or even one watch, that is core, that is a keeper, that functions as a baseline. Once you've established a baseline in watches, you can kind of play around with other watches and have a little bit of fun. And see how your tastes develop. If you like the watch, it can stay. If you don't like the watch, it can go. Depends on what kind of collector you are, but have a baseline of watches. And right now what I believe I've got a baseline of watches. I've got some sentimental pieces. I'm not in some I'm not in some psychological issue where I need to reduce the collection, I need more watches. Take it slow, see how you go. It's all about your enjoyment of the hobby. And it's important to have at least one good watch, in my opinion. Instead of buying multiple affordable watches or cheap watches, have one good watch, and then you can do whatever you want, right? You can go high end, low, affordable, mid tier. Explore, see what your tastes are like and how they develop, and that's how things go. But that's just a little bit of a retrospective on the 2022 year. I would like to thank everyone for watching my videos throughout this year, and please like, subscribe, or even dislike to these videos. Thank you. It's the Sands of Time. Peace.